Welcome. You're watching a special report from the Human Error News Network. Tonight, we're diving into a tragedy in Mumbai to ask a really tough question. When something goes terribly wrong, who or what is actually to blame?
So picture this, Mumbai's super busy Bondube station. You've got a veteran driver, a brand new state-of-the-art electric bus, and then a catastrophic crash. Right away, those pieces just don't seem to fit together.
And the result? It was absolutely devastating. Just like that, 4 people lost their lives, and 10 others were injured. What should have been a normal day, a routine bus trip, turned into pure chaos. Almost immediately, the official verdict came down, and it came down fast. The cause, authorities said, was simple. It was a human error. Case of negligent driving. End of story, right? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Is it really the end of the story? Because when we rush to pin the blame on one person, what are we missing? What does that simple explanation cover up? This is where our investigation really kicks off. So let's start with what I call the anatomy of blame. We're going to begin where the official investigation basically ended, with the driver, the one person who became the face of this whole tragedy. And here's a number you really need to keep in mind. 15. That's how many years the driver, Santo Romesh Sant, had been with the BST transport undertaking. We're not talking about some rookie here. This was a seasoned professional. And right there, that's the conflict, isn't it? On one hand, you have the official story, negligent driving. But on the other, you have this undeniable fact of a 15-year career. How does a veteran with that much experience suddenly make an error this big? This is where that simple story of blame, it really starts to crumble. Okay, to really understand what happened, we have to look beyond the driver's seat. We need to look at the other major players in the story, the machine itself, and the environment where it all went down.
So the Regional Transport Office, the RTO, they did a full inspection of the bus, and their report was pretty clear. The brakes, they were working perfectly. The starting system, totally fine. Mechanically, there was nothing wrong with the bus. So that immediately shifts our focus away from a machine failure and toward the critical moment of the crash itself, that high-pressure situation in a really crowded place.
Now here's the working theory from the RTO. They believe the driver was making a really tight right-hand turn from a parked spot. In that split second, that high-stakes moment, they think he might have panicked and, instead of hitting the brake, he slammed on the accelerator. Now think about that. That's not just negligence, that's a reaction. A very human reaction to a complex and incredibly stressful environment. All of this forces us to zoom out. We have to ask, was this tragic event just a one-off, a terrible freak accident, or is it part of a bigger, more worrying pattern of problems? And when you look back, you find something really disturbing. It turns out, just 1 year before, another electric bus from the very same wet-leased fleet was in a huge accident in Kerala West that killed 9 people. This is not an isolated incident.
So what does that tell us? Are we supposed to believe that's just a coincidence? Or could these tragedies be symptoms of some deeper, systemic issue? You have to start asking questions about the whole fleet management process. What about the training protocols for drivers who are moving from old diesel buses to these brand new, powerful electric ones? Are they being properly prepared for just how different these EVs feel and respond?
And this brings us to a fundamental choice. After a failure like this, we're standing at a fork in the road. One path is easy, it's quick. The other path is a lot harder, but it's the one that might actually save lives down the road. This, right here, is the heart of our report tonight. It's the choice between blame and learning. See, when we stop at human error, we just close the book. We find our scapegoat, and we all move on. But if we choose to learn, we open up the real possibility of preventing this from ever happening again. Safety experts have a name for this. It's called a system-level failure. It's the idea that accidents are rarely, if ever, caused by just one person's mistake. They're usually the final, terrible result of a whole chain of weaknesses in the system itself. The training, the tech, the procedures, even the design of the road. So what does this path to learning actually look like? Well, it means investigating the entire system. It means analyzing driver training, especially for new technologies like EVs. It means you have to examine the design of the bus's controls, the layout of the driver's cabin. It even means looking at the traffic flow and the road design where the accident happened. And you know what? This path leads to real, tangible solutions. I'm talking about things like advanced simulator-based training that is specifically for electric buses because their acceleration is totally different. It could mean technology upgrades like smart pedal systems that can tell the difference between a driver panicking and a driver who means to accelerate. Or even just better ergonomic designs to reduce confusion in those high-stress moments. And that's the question we want to leave you with tonight. The Mumbai bus crash was a tragedy, born from a really complex mix of factors. Blaming the driver is easy. It's the simple answer. But the safe answer, the one that truly honors the victims, requires us to dig deeper. So the next time you hear those words, human error, will you accept it as the end of the story, or will you see it as the beginning of an investigation to build a safer system for all of us? Thanks for watching.